we haven't wanted to make it a 13, 14, 15 person participation trophy type deal. We wanted to make it kind of as I got here, as I've said before. Just talking to Coach Osborne and some of the older guys, like at its purest form, it was just, hey, the starters. So we are going to play a lot of different personnel groupings. So we've thought about maybe some other guys, but we haven't done that yet.
How has Shavers come along? You mentioned he had a hamstring strain. Is he ready to roll?
Practiced yesterday. He'll practice again today. We just saw him out there. He says he feels great, so we anticipate him playing.
As you just shifted to game preparation, what did you see from the team in terms of their level of focus or how they went about their business?
Team's been great. I think they want to play. I think it's very evident. Very mature team. As I said the other day, on Saturday they've probably sent me. I probably got 50 text messages from guys just as they're watching different games and seeing different situational football happen, or some of the mistakes we told them would happen in first games. So I think they recognize what's ahead of them. They recognize some of the rulings that were made in terms of the new rules in terms of simulating a snap on defense with a shift, or illegal substitution rules that delay a game that are now prevalent. So we've been very locked in. Hopefully we continue that tonight.
Find clarity in the kicker competition, and is that different than the kickoff? Who might handle kickoffs?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think Kyle will go out and will kick for us first. He would be the starter as of today, and then both Tristan and John have been battling out to be the kickoff person. Kyle would also be the backup punter.
What's your schedule like? How early do you guys get on the buses to head down to Kansas City?
Yeah, we're going to have the guys come in, have breakfast tomorrow. We'll practice tonight. Come in, have breakfast tomorrow. We'll meet and walk from 10 to noon. Then we'll give them from like 12 to 1 to get themselves settled, eat lunch. Then we'll get on the buses at 1. We're going to go right from here to Arrowhead. This will take about 3 hours. At the Arrowhead at 4:15, however that works out. We'll do a light walk through. This group of guys has really enjoyed seeing the visiting stadiums. So very light walk through. Usually we try to see who can hit the goalpost with a football. The guys kind of mess around, just somewhere to get familiar with the scenario. Then we'll go to the hotel. We'll go see a team movie. I think they picked Superman, and then we'll have snack, and then get into our game day.
With it being an 8 p.m. kickoff, just how do you go about managing all that goes into the wait before heading into?
Yeah, there's not much you do to manage waiting. Waiting's waiting, right? It's brutal. If it's one thing on a Saturday because there's at least games on. But we try to break the day up. They don't have to come down. We have a rolling brunch till about 11. Then we'll go to a local high school at 11, and we'll go out and we'll just get outside the house. So outside the hotel. We've done that for a long time, and so we'll mess around a little bit at the local high school, come back, and then guys will just kind of head up, take a nap, hang out, and then we'll come back down and get our stuff started.
How will you specifically handle that? Because you've talked about how you get a little anxious before night games sometimes.
Yeah, I think the anxiousness. It's important to say the word being anxious, not anxiety. I think anxiousness, lets you know that what you're doing is worthwhile. So yeah, we're going to play another team. It's going to be fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. I've very much made a commitment to this year to having fun in everything that I do, because that's the type of team we have. So I don't plan on watching a soap opera or anything. I don't know what I'll do. It's always a good time to get caught up on there's some of the first games have come in recruiting, so we'll always watch some recruiting film when we can. But I don't have super specific plans.
How eager are you to see what type of impact Nebraska fans can have in a neutral site game?
Yeah, I don't even consider it neutral site. I just think it's Arrowhead. Arrowhead seems like part of our DNA, our footprint. So I think this feels like a home game light. I expect to have the same home game intensity. I think, if not maybe even more so, because we're more excited as a fan base to see this team for the first time. Obviously we're playing a great team like Cincinnati. When you have a chance to play another Power 4 team, that's exciting. And to play at Arrowhead for the first, it's the first time playing at Arrowhead. Huskers, third. Probably should know that. First time for me. So I think it'll be hopefully exciting.
How excited are you you had a couple former guys at least reported them make 53-mans and rosters in Fedoni and John Bullock, just those guys and what they're getting done.
Yeah, I think you've heard me say before, Fedoni's very special to my family, Julie, Vivian, Leona. They're like the biggest Fedoni fans. I mean, he's got his dog Rambo. We have our dog Nala. Like, it's just for some reason from day one they've just all connected, and so we have a little family group chat every time he scores. One of the kids will put him on there, you know. And so Leon and I on Saturday we're going to play softball. I had a chance to talk to him for a long time. I think the most important thing is that they had a really deep tight end room. You know, he had a really good camp, and so even if he didn't make that team, he was going to make a team. But you know, I'm really proud of him because I've seen everything that he went into him coming back. You know, I've seen the video of that second knee injury. It's grotesque. And so all the work that he had to do to come back, all the things he had to overcome, you know, and he took. There was always a lot of flack for him for some reason. There was always a lot of flack for him that he had to deal with. And I just love the guy. I mean, I just thought he overcame the odds. And then Johnny Bullock, you know, I made a point to our team. You know, I think we released a video where I said something like, you know, I said the process is undefeated for those who won't be defeated. Really what I said, I was talking about John Bullock, and I said, you know, I just had the chance to FaceTime John now that he's made the team. And I got a text from his dad that he made it, and so I FaceTime John. And, you know, my point to the guys was when I got here, he was kind of forgotten about, right? Like hadn't really played. He was a backup safety. He went through the first year. I remember sitting in my office after the first year with us and being like, you know, I'm thinking about retiring. Should I come back and play? His dad was very much like, Dad Steve's a great guy. I was like, I think he should play again, but, you know, I love my son no matter what. And I just remember telling John, like, you know, you've come so far. I just wouldn't want you to have regrets. And he didn't always like the way we did it. You know, I'd yell at him at 9-on-7 to run through and hit people, and was always on him. But I think we all knew what he could be. And so, you know, what I said to our guys is the process works for those who will work, and the process is undefeated for those who won't be defeated. And that's John Bullock. He just kept pulling himself up. Nothing was handed to him. And I believe it kind of goes back to the point I sometimes try to make here that we sometimes, like, as we look at Nebraska football, we always seem to say, like, hey, this transfer is going to be better than the guys we have. But, like, starting to prove, like, if you just do what we're asking you to do, and I know sometimes it'll get questioned by people, I get that. But for the most part, the guys who've done it, works out pretty well for them. Even some of the guys who left, like Jamari Butler, when I got here, he was going in the transfer portal, and he hadn't really played. And Jamari did what we asked for 2 years, and he got paid a ton of money to go to LSU. So I wish it would have been to the NFL. But the guys who do what we ask, they play pretty well, and they monetarily and, you know, graduate usually, and they have some success. So it was a great example for our guys of, hey, here's two guys that when we got here, man, things did not look very bright for them. One with the knee, one with this thing, and they've did all we asked, and look at them now. So hoping that our guys will buy into that, and hoping our team will buy into that concept about the process going into this game, because we're significantly further ahead in terms of how we handle a game, I think, than we have been the last 2 years in terms of our understanding. And so excited to see them actually play it out.
Mac Markway posted on social media that he had his knee procedure. Just curious if you've heard if that was successful, and I guess like the next steps for him.
Yeah, he went down to Dr. Cooper in Dallas. Got back yesterday. He seemed like he was in good spirits. He was crutching around. The surgery was successful. I think Dr. Cooper even commented it was like the largest hamstring graft he'd ever taken. I mean, that's how big and strong Mac is. So, like I said, Mac was in good spirits. You know, he won't be able to go to the game. He'll have to stay here, but he'll begin his rehab process now. So we'll see what the future holds in terms of him and his decisions. But for right now, that was a positive.
Well, some of the other guys who have season-ending injuries are able to go to the game.
They made it possible for everyone to go if they want to go. No, like 5 or 6 of them, they didn't want to stand on their crutches for the whole time, which we advised them not to go, but we said medically they said I would advise you not to go, though I said if you want to go we'll figure it out, and those guys, like I think 4 or 5 of them, said they want to stay back, but for the most part the whole team will be there.
You said about 80, or what's your number that will go down?
I think 80's going down. Is 80, Susan? 80?
80-ish.
80-ish. I don't know, there might be like a guy or two. You know, Eckler is a little bit of a wild card. I could really use this guy. But I thought the last number I saw was 80. So, I mean, maybe 80, 81, 82, but 80. So, and then the rest of the guys are coming down the next day.
Matt, there seemed to be a level of kind of measured excitement from the players yesterday, but more so just focus. Is that kind of the tone internally?
I want them to be really excited. I mean, we've worked really hard. This has been like the longest camp ever. Like, the last 2 practices have ended a few minutes early, which I don't really do very often, but that's how you can tell I'm sort of like, All right, I've seen enough. So yeah, I mean, I expect them to be really excited. I mean, that to me, you play with passion and energy. I mean, I think they're trying to do a really good job of coming in here with you guys and being professional and saying things. I think they're saying what they feel, but just saying it in a respectful way. But they should be really, really excited. At the same time, I think we recognize. I mean, we watched that cut up. It was like 60, 65, 70 plays from the games on Saturday. And what you saw over and over and over again was just bad football and bad football plays. And that comes from just not being focused on the play. Worrying about the scoreboard, worrying about everything else, worrying about, your playing time. I don't know, whatever the only things that can distract you, right? So just challenging the guys. Like, we want to go play this game one snap at a time with intentional focus, neutral mindset, and attack each play and not worry about what the score is. Just worry about how we're playing and then deal with how we have to play, adjust to the situation in the fourth quarter. But we've worked on this for a long time. We've worked on it for 3 years. So I'd like to see it come to fruition now, where we just go out there and play with a ruthless mindset.
Your first year, you guys played a Power 5 team in week 1 to begin the year. Is there anything that you take from that Minnesota experience that you learned from heading into this game?
That's a great question. I like playing Power 4, Power 5. I guess Power 5 then, now Power 4 maybe. I like playing a Power 4 team to start. I think it makes your camp much more intentional. It gets everyone's attention early. I felt like that Minnesota game. I felt like we should have won it. We had it won. That being said, we weren't as far along, and I think I commented many times. I didn't have us as ready for the crowd noise and all the things that the gold out at Minnesota would have. I sometimes say things like that, and I could probably put a caveat there, but it sounds weak. Like, we were working on a lot of other things. We weren't probably ready for all that. We were just trying to learn some basic things at the time. But I feel like I have gotten to my part. I've gotten the team ready in terms of situationally. We should be prepared for everything. And I think to their part, they are focused and paid a lot of attention to detail. Like, I walked in this morning, and Isaiah Mosey's, sitting in the recovery tubs, and now he's just sitting there. He's got his game book out. Like, a lot of times you see guys looking at their phone or iPad. Like, he's got his game book out, and he's like taking notes. I was like, all right, that's what our freshmen look like. That means that every room that the seniors are doing a good job, or in that case, in that room, Emmett. So, so I feel confident that we'll play. And at the same time, also knowing a first game, you don't know what to expect. Like, Cincinnati could come out, and it could be all 4 down. It could be all cover 0. It could be all, they could come out. They could have gone to high tempo. They could have, you don't know. So you have to have smart coaches and coordinators and players who can adjust on the fly, and I think we're prepared for that. Thanks, guys. See you guys there.